Hello, my name is Sonali. Welcome to a new episode of Around the World. In today's episode, we will discuss about China-Bhutan relations. Actually, China and Bhutan organized the 11th round of expert group meeting, that is EGM. During this meeting, talks were held regarding the border dispute between the two countries. Today, we will try to understand the issues which were discussed during this meeting and what were the output of these discussions. We will also try to understand Bhutan-China relations in view of the border dispute. And we will also understand the meaning of this meeting for India. Significantly, the 11th expert group meeting was held between China and Bhutan on 13th January 2022 in the southwestern Chinese city of Kunming. Actually, the meeting was organized to resolve the Bhutan-China border dispute. A joint statement was also issued in this regard after the meeting, in which it was said that the expert groups of China and Bhutan agreed to pursue a three-step roadmap. Along with this, both sides also discussed about expediting the China-Bhutan border talks. Notably, China and Bhutan signed a three-step roadmap to speed up the border talks in October 2021. However, this roadmap has not been made public yet. In addition, the two sides also agreed to increase the frequency of meetings of the expert group to fix dates for China-Bhutan border talks at an early date and to maintain frequent contacts through diplomatic channels. Hence, this meeting is the result of joint efforts and cooperation of both the parties, and the same is quite important from the point of view of China-Bhutan relations. So before moving ahead, let us first know about the Bhutan-China border dispute in brief. Apart from India, Bhutan is the only country with which China has a land border dispute. In this regard, border talks are going on between the both countries since 1984. Actually, Bhutan, a Himalayan nation surrounded by India on three sides, shares a border of about 477 kilometers with China, out of which there is a border dispute mainly over three areas. These disputed areas include the Jakarlung and Pasamlung valleys in northern Bhutan and the Doklam region in the western Bhutan. It is noteworthy that 104 square miles of disputed territory falls under the Doklam sector, which includes the Sichlung, Dramana and Shakhato areas. It is noteworthy that 24 rounds of border talks and 11 EGMs have been held over these disputed areas since 1984. But till now, no concrete result has come out of these meetings. But in the recently held meeting, both the countries have agreed to hold the 25th round of border talks at the earliest. Furthermore, emphasis was also laid in maintaining contact through diplomatic channels to resolve the border dispute. However, this is not the first time that both the countries have held talks on such a large scale to resolve the border dispute. Earlier also, China had proposed a package deal or resolution to Bhutan in 1996. Under this deal, China demanded the Doklam area and in return offered to give up its claims to the Jakarlung and Pasamlung valleys. But Bhutan expressed its claim on all the three areas, due to which no agreement could be reached. Actually, the Doklam sector is the tri-junction of China, Bhutan and India, that is, the border of all the three countries meet here. Not only there is a dispute between Bhutan and China regarding Doklam, but India also has a dispute with China in Doklam. Doklam is near India's Siliguri corridor and is a strategically sensitive area for India. Notably, a major scuffle took place between Indian and Chinese soldiers in 2017 due to the construction of a road by China in Doklam. In this regard, India and Bhutan not only stand with each other but also support each other's interests related to Doklam. Significantly, apart from these areas, China has claimed some areas of northern and western Bhutan. In a meeting of GEF, that is Global Environment Facility, held in 2020, the Chinese representative opposed the finance provided to Bhutan. This fund was to be given for the development of a project in the Sakteng Wildlife Sanctuary located in the Trashigang Eastern District of Bhutan. In this regard, the Chinese representative termed Trashigang as an area under the Bhutan-China border dispute and objected to any project. Significantly, India and Bhutan have coherent views on the border dispute with China. But now, when such a successful meeting is taking place between Bhutan and China on border issues, it becomes necessary to understand the implications of this meeting from India's point of view. Actually, India-Bhutan has a dynamic and strong relationship. Even Bhutan's policies regarding foreign relations are largely influenced by India. Bhutan is at the top of India's foreign policy priority. As far as the effect of the 11th EGM between Bhutan and China on India is concerned, it can be viewed in two ways. First, this is a normal Bhutan-China meeting being organized since 1984 to resolve border issues. In these meetings, both the parties place their respective views in a democratic manner, which is indeed necessary. History is witness to the fact that Bhutan has never entered into an agreement with China or any other country by going against India. Notably, Bhutan is the only neighboring country of China with which it does not have diplomatic and economic relations. In such a scenario, India needs not to be concerned about this meeting much. Secondly, it is also necessary to look at this meeting from the point of view of the improvement of relations between Bhutan and China. It would be appropriate to view this meeting from the perspective of the three-step roadmap agreement held in October 2021, in which it was decided to expedite the talks between the two countries to resolve the border dispute. Interestingly, during the 11th EGM, not only the handshake ceremony was held, but China also presented some goods to Bhutan. Hence, India should keep a close watch on any such kind of talks between China and Bhutan. Actually, the strategic location of Doklam is quite critical for India, and that is why China is eyeing that region, but China has not been able to capture Doklam due to the unity of India-Bhutan. Hence, China has been constantly trying to distance Bhutan from Doklam. In such a scenario, India needs to be alert regarding the China-Bhutan border talks, as Nepal, like Bhutan, is an integral ally of India but has come under the influence of China in recent times. And India needs to be even more alert at a time when China and Bhutan have issued a joint statement that the 11th EGM was successful. That's all in this episode. Let us note down the question based on today's story. Describe the recent expert group meeting held between Bhutan-China and discuss the Bhutan-China border dispute. So that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.